من لوس أنجلوس وتحديداً من بيفرلي هيلز. اليوم رح نتعرف على شخصية جديدة لبنانية أمريكية، سيلفيو تابت. هو مخرج، منتج، مصور وكاتب. خلينا نتعرف عليه أكثر عن قريب بهالحلقة. Mr. Silvio Tabet, thank you for receiving us in your house here in Beverly Hills in Los Angeles. You are a Lebanese-American movie maker, producer, writer, and photographer. You were born in Beirut, in Sanaya. Tell us more about your childhood and your good memories.
Well, when you are a kid, small kid, you don't remember much. But, for example, when I was 3 years old, I remember my father didn't like our dog. He sent it to a kennel because he was doing his poo-poo on the carpet. And I still remember that 3 days later, the dog came by itself. Oh. Miles away, he found out the house. But besides this, my childhood was great. I had good friends around me. I was always creating, always spending, doing something new, magic and everything. And my idols at that time were James Dean and Elvis Presley.
Yeah, beautiful. And how were your relationships with your parents, your dad, your mom?
Great. I have a wonderful mother. Now both of them passed away. And I have a father who we used to call Don Mario because he used to wear the borsalino of the mafioso. Oh. And he's part Italian. And he was always a lot of class with the pochette and everything.
Very elegant.
He influenced me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He influenced
me a lot.
See. And you know, I made my studies at the Jesuit and at Lycée Français. I succeeded in philosophy, which I think it was not a waste of time because without philosophy you cannot go through life with all the obstacles. And at 19, I found myself working at the Canal 7, and then I managed at, when I was around 20, Télé Orient in the commercial and advertising sector.
Yeah.
And then I said it was time for me to leave.
You went to France to continue your studies in filmmaking?
Yeah, I went to France. I studied at the IDEC, which was the Institute of the Haute Études Cinématographiques. 2 years, I graduated in movie making. And I could have started making movies in France. I had 3 offers straight away after I finished my school. One film with Peter O'Toole and Omar Sharif called The Night of General. One with Robert Hossein, and one with the famous television films at that time and movies called Angélique, Marquise des Anges.
Yeah, with Robert Hossein.
With Robert Michel Mercier, and I started to work on this movie, but then I fell in love with the nice Lebanese ladies. And I married her and I came back to Lebanon.
You came back. And so you created, we will talk later about you and your personal life and the women you loved. You came back to Lebanon and you created your own company, SMT Production.
SMT Films.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us more about this first company and what did you produce then?
Well, it was a lot of fun because basically as I was directing commercial, you know, coming back from television, people knew me and I started directing commercial. And at that time it was great because practically we didn't have advertising agency or they were just starting. So the advertising agency used to give us full freedom on what to create. We used to create the script, the concept and everything, and we used to go and shoot. And for me, I was in love with feature film. I start installing in my commercial act like a stunt car, turning, exploding, this kind of things, James Bond kind and everything. And I was the first one to introduce CinemaScope in the commercial. Mm-hmm. I was the first Lebanese in 1972 who got an award at the Venice Film Festival for commercials. Mm-hmm. And between 64 and 74, I directed around 400 commercials.
Yeah, 400 commercials. Can you tell us about one or two or three that you like most?
Yeah, for example, I did many films for RC Cola.
Yeah.
But most of them were a beautiful woman.
I remember the music. Yeah.
I remember the music.
Yeah.
And RC. So, of course, it was a huge success. I'm the first, I think I initiated this Shubutarita Creovac.
This was a legend.
So it was more like a short movie than anything else.
Yeah. And you...
Whiskey, stop. Sit.
You created in France also film 21. How was it created and for how long and what did you do in France?
Well, you will read articles in the archive of Florian Lejour. At that time, the producer, quote unquote, wanted me to go and film in Egypt, Egyptian movie with Georgina Rizzo, who was discovered by me at that time, and she made many commercials with me. But it was
This was before or after she was
before,
Miss Universe?
Much before. She was very young and everything. But it was, I could not feel it, and I wanted to make feature film. So in 74, before the war, I didn't know there going to be a war, I moved to Paris to direct feature film. But the first movie they gave me, which was very good, the first script, there was a director attached, and the script was so good that I decided to produce it. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the biggest success in France at that time. It was called Cours après moi que je t'attrape, Run After Me Until I Catch You, with Annie Girardot. And then the rest is history. When you have a success, you have more script coming, and with a little luck, then you have more success, and then that's it. You are in the business of producing movies.
And you founded with your father-in-law then a company in Munich, Neu Constantin, around the early 80s.
Yes.
And what kind of work did you produce there?
Constantin Film is like a landmark, trademark in Germany. It's one of the biggest distribution company. And we founded the Neu Constantin Film because the old Constantin Film was not doing so well. And it's a distribution company, and the owner of movie theater. It was interesting work. So as you found out, I directed, I produced, and now I was in distribution. Mm-hmm. The problem that I love the German very much, but I don't like the cold weather.
Yeah.
So that's why I left Germany, I left Paris, which is a wonderful city, and I moved to the sun.
To LA.
To Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And one of the reasons is Los Angeles reminds me a lot of Beirut in a certain way.
Indeed.
Because you are not very far from the sea. It's not the same scale. and not very far from skiing, 2 hours drive.
Yeah.
And, you know, like all kids who are, of at least like kids like me, who were born in Beirut and educated to the popcorn and the cola and the cowboy movie that we used to go and see at the Rialto, at the Rivoli, at the opera. So it was a dream to go to Hollywood.
Yeah, indeed. حكي لنا سيلفيو تابت عن طفولته بلبنان وكيف ترك وراح فرنسا ومن بعدها على الولايات المتحدة. خلينا نكتشف أكثر عن مسيرته المهنية. هو متعدد المواهب بس من بعد هالبريك الإعلاني. So you came to Los Angeles around 1980.
1980, yes.
1980. So it's been a while you are here. Tell us more about your career in Los Angeles. What did you do? I know that you are a writer. You have written already 4 books, and the Beastmaster has been also produced as a film and then as a DVD. It was a great success.
When I came here, I was educated in French how we make movies. So in French, basically, we do independent movies. In the United States, it's very difficult to do independent movie. Independent movie, that means that you have to raise the financing. The other way to make films here is to go to the studio and they finance you. So I'm more independent. I made film like Evil Speak, like Fade to Black, which are kind of horror movie, but each one had an award. Most at the Avoriaz Film Festival of the Film Fantastique. And then I made more mainstream movie as producer, co-producer, like Cotton Club, which is a Coppola movie, like Dead Ringer, which is a movie with Jeremy Irons, directed by Cronenberg, another big director.
Indeed.
And then 2 scriptwriters brought me a script called The Beastmaster, which remind me of the comic book when we read when you are kids, fantasy, science fiction, the guy who lives like Tarzan, who is raised by animals, a tiger and a ferret. So I decided to produce a movie, and it was a big success, especially on cable and all around the world. So we decided to make a second one, which I directed it. Then we made a pilot, and then we made 66 episodes. And now it's a character who is like Zorro, like Tarzan, who lives since 30 years. And then I co-wrote the novel, The Myths of the Beastmaster, and we'll be making more and more Beastmaster. So I'm now more focusing on this character to make more movie. And of course, the rest of the time I have many other things in the creative field.
I understand. I know you are a multi-talented man, Mr. Tabet. Besides the film making and the production, you are a writer and a photographer. I want to talk about your writings. How much do you spend time writing, knowing you have written already 4 books? And I know you're preparing a new book about searching God, the danger of searching God. If you can tell us more about this interesting title.
Well, I produced a spiritual book called A Journey to Shanti with my photograph and the teaching of a teacher that we call guru, but you know, guru sometimes can lead to confusion. They think it's a part of a sect or anything. In fact, it's a teacher in India, where I spend every year for 7 years, 2 weeks. And this book helped change the life of many people.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm focusing on this more and more. I wrote a book of poetry. I wrote a spin-off of the Beastmaster called Tara. It's a woman Beastmaster. So it's like kids, you know, it's made for kids of all ages. Now, I'm writing a book called A Danger of Searching God. There is danger because it's difficult to summarize it in this interview, but basically, whatever obstacle you'll meet or whatever problem you'll meet, because you will meet a lot when you want to search God, keep searching God.
You don't have to stop at any obstacle.
No.
You have to defeat all obstacles and go.
Now I'm going to a very spiritual trip in India called the Kumbha Mela, where over a period of 3 months, around 60 million people, 60 million people are going to go and bathe in the river, the Gange, because they believe that this time of the year, once every 12 years, they can be purified of your sin. So spirituality and religion and belief in God is very important.
Of course.
But you have to bathe in the Gange, where they throw dead bodies, and you can have, next day you can be sick.
Yeah.
So
it's
one of the challenges some people find in searching God.
I know that you are born Catholic, but you believe in Buddhist philosophy. Why did you choose this philosophy? And I want you to tell us about a funny story that happened to you in Lebanon about this big Buddha you put in your village, and everybody was just shooting it.
Well, first of all, yes, I'm Catholic, I'm Maronite, and when I say I believe in the Buddhist philosophy, is the way we pray is very similar to the Catholicism and everything. The only thing that it gives me a lot of peace, because we start working by meditation, and unfortunately in our religion we don't learn enough about meditation. Mm-hmm. And when you start meditation, then you can connect with your prayer or whatever it is, much more easy. The story of my Buddha, I love Buddhas. It's like I love certain painting, but Buddha expressed peace. The face of the Buddha expresses peace. For some, it's Jesus. For some, it's the Virgin Mary. For me, it's the Buddha. So I sculpted the Buddha and I put it in my land in Canada, Kish. Unfortunately, you know, when you don't know enough, they thought that I was going to make a new religion because the Buddha was built next to the church, and I bought the land because it was next to the church, because I can go to this little church and pray or meditate. Unfortunately, they come and vandalize the Buddha. They shoot at him and everything, and it came every other years. Now, unfortunately, I had to cover him. But I hope one day people will understand in this area that I'm not a danger. No. On the contrary, it's another symbol of worshiping God.
Of course. And in what sense did it help you in your life?
Well, my going to India, I studied what we call the energy. And when you understand that everything works through energy, television, phone, computer, you type on a computer something, and at the same time, billions of people get the message and respond. So this is wave of energy. The same thing with your soul, because everything starts with your soul. Whatever you think about is going to materialize, whatever you think, one day or another, to keep the balance and the evolution continue. When Leonardo da Vinci thought of a plane, few centuries later, we had a plane.
Yeah.
Now we're thinking of Star Trek. We already have a spaceship as big as a football field.
Indeed.
So that's the most important thing. Whatever you visualize, whatever you focus on, you'll make it. So any young movie director in Lebanon or whatever it is, and I come from Lebanon, who would have said that I will be here? Focus and will come. Of course, what is important is to have luck. But if you look for luck, you'll get luck.
Yeah. You believe in luck?
Definitely.
You do.
And you need luck. Some people don't have it. It makes it more difficult. But again, if they believe, they will get the luck, which is happen like an opportunity, but you have to catch it.
You are also a great photographer, Mr. Tabet, and we can see your exhibitions in Beirut. Tell us more about this. Can I say it's a hobby, it's a passion, and where do you find yourself more in filmmaking, in producing, in writing, or in taking pictures?
Well, originally I am and always be a film director, but you don't have the opportunity to film all the time, maybe also because I do few things at the same time. So I reflect my vision of directing in whatever I create. Either I create a house, which looks like a set, or I write a book, which is like a script, or I take a photo, which is not a conventional photo. There is two styles of photos. The one black and white, deep, intimate, and the one much more visual, like big movies of action and everything. And as you can see, some of these photos, I take them, I paint them, and they are full of color. So for me, the exhibition I made in Beirut was called Suspended Reality. There is no reality. You can create it the way you want. Why the sky has to be blue? If I imagine it red, it has to be red, at least for me. So that's how I put my talent of a director into a picture, into a book, into whatever I do.
Yeah, I understand. You said also that you create houses.
Yes.
The interiors and the architecture.
I always create a concept. And like in a movie, you are a team of 20, 30 people working with you. So it's a work of the team.
Of course.
So when I create a house, you take an architect, you take construction and everything. I give them the concept and they realize it. It's like, you know, the big painter, Leonardo da Vinci, they don't paint the fresco all by themselves. They have a team who follow the instruction of the master and they put in life what he has created.
What did you learn from this great experience you have with film directing?
Film directing, I think first you have to be national, succeed in your own country. Or if you have to go somewhere else, you have to start young. And each country has his own rule. And you have to be part of a family. So the most important thing is not only talent, but contact and luck. So now, at my time, they used to make maybe one film every 2 years in Lebanon. Now I understand they are making 20, and some of them are quite impressive. I was member of the jury to give an award for the foundation of the Lebanese cinema.
Yeah.
And I saw very interesting short film. So talented exists everywhere. And more our Lebanese talent are going abroad, and they have to continue doing what they know best. And don't think, I want to go to Hollywood, I want to go this. Make what you feel, and the time to go to Hollywood or to Paris or London or whatever will come if you're called.
You came to Los Angeles, you were like around 30 years old. What are the main problems you encountered in your career?
I don't think that there is more problem than anywhere else. You have to be talented. The competition is very big here. People are, specialized in their field. They work from 7 o'clock till 11, only in their field. It's not like in Lebanon, you go with somebody, you can talk to him about France, Dalida or anything. He's talk about his work. So you are here competing with people who work 24 hours, and so
Hard
the creation
workers.
become bigger and bigger. You have to be talented, and you have to be part of a family, anywhere you want. When I started, I used to serve coffee for my producer and director. But I connected because my cigar was bigger than theirs. So there was a link or something. So that's what I have to do, establish a link wherever you go. It's not more difficult here. Maybe it's more difficult here than France, but my culture is France. If my culture was American, I would maybe find it more easy here.
Yeah, yeah.
But you have to start young. It takes time to build up something. It doesn't come overnight. Of course, you can win the lottery, but how many people won the lottery?
We wish we all do. أنتج سيلفيو تابت عدد كبير من الأفلام وكتب كتاب، وبطل هالكتاب سأصبح الشخصية الأساسية بإحدى أفلامه. خلينا نكتشف عنه أكثر وعن حياته الشخصية من بعد هالبريك. Let us talk about your personal life. I know you love beautiful women. You have been married 3 times.
I don't know if it's a good thing.
You are a father, a grandfather too. Let's talk about your first wife. You said you met her in France and then you came back to Lebanon for her.
No, I met her in Lebanon.
Okay.
She waited for me to finish my study. You know, we married in Lebanon. I had a great marriage, but you know, I don't know what
You
to
were
say.
in France then, and you came back for her.
For Lebanon,
Yeah.
and we start moving. And then, basically, there is not much to say. I had 3 wonderful women, very nice. 2 of them gave me wonderful children. And I have 3 wonderful children. They give me 6 wonderful granddaughters,
Yeah.
and soon a grandboy. It's you know, it's not good to marry and divorce 3 times, but it happened, and I had a wonderful experience, and they all was very nice to me.
And you believe in love after these 3?
Of course,
You do.
everything is based on love, nothing else. Sai Baba said. That everybody religion said there is only one religion, the religion of love.
You're right.
So if you use it as your mantra, only love all, serve all, you'll get everything. More you give, more you'll get.
Yeah. So you have 3 wonderful children, Silvio Sharif and also Maya and Kim.
Kim, yeah.
How was your experience as a father, especially that you were a father first, you were very young
yeah.
then?
It's difficult to say. They should tell you what is their experience with me. Unfortunately, I was too much traveling and too much doing things and everything. So the credit has to go more to the mother than to me.
Yeah. You didn't spend much time with them?
No.
No.
But
do you regret
catching
that?
Up.
You're catching up.
2 years ago, I was able to united all of them, 16 of them, the children, the grandchildren, and everything, for 2 weeks.
It's beautiful.
And it was wonderful.
Indeed.
Family is what the most important thing.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. And you see also very rarely your grandchildren.
Well, in our days, we can't talk about really anymore between Facebook, Skype,
Yeah,
traveling.
So you're
you
in
are
connection.
always in contact with everybody, and that's what evolution is.
Indeed.
It's incredible. It goes very fast. Once there was a poster in the street of Jesus, and he said, "I don't have all the answer. Please call Google."
So now there's Google, there's the internet.
Yes, Google, you have all the questions, you are always in contact, every single, you see each other on the things. It's great.
Yeah, I know that Maya and Silvio Sharif went into the movie business
Yes.
too. Are they still there or they stopped?
No, Maya continuing in a certain way. She wants to make documentaries. She worked with me. She worked with Coppola. Silvio Sharif, he will talk for himself, but he's still involved in a certain way in the film. Whatever he does has a connection with the film business. And he's working with me on the Beastmaster. So they love it and they continue in it.
Yeah. What are your future projects now?
Basically, I'm focusing on making another movie of the Beastmaster. And I have to find a way to finish this book, The Danger of Searching God.
تزوج سيلفيو تابت 3 مرات وابنه الكبير سيلفيو جونيور مشي على خطاه. فينا نعرف انه سيلفيو تابت ما انقطعت ابدا علاقاته مع لبنان. خلينا نكتشف اكثر عن هالموضوع من بعد هالبريك الاعلاني. You were in Beirut, then you decided to come back to LA, though you're still there to do some exhibitions. How is your relationship with the Lebanese and with Lebanon? And we see that it's very controversial. You like it, you go, then you leave everything, you come back.
Well, you realize that, you know, my origin are Lebanese, so the way of thinking is American Lebanese. Here, everything moves fast. You have the possibilities of huge horizon, and you connecting more people. And Lebanon is too restrained. That's why there is 12 million Lebanese outside and 3 million in Lebanon.
Indeed.
So I like to go to Lebanon because I feel in a family. I still have, it's small, we go and talk and everything. And I'd like to mingle with the new generation as much as I can. I come back here because I need to refill myself.
Yeah, to move on.
To move on, new ideas and everything. So for me, basically, Lebanon is a place where you want to go once a while, spend 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month. But basically, I'm here. How long, I don't know. Everything changes in life. But it's a two different world, which is interested for a person of my age and what I've done to keep always connecting.
I know that you went there and you bought a house and you wanted to settle down. You even sold your house in LA, but then you did just the opposite. Then you sold your house in Beirut and you came and you bought a new house in LA. Why you didn't stay in Lebanon? What didn't you like?
This is the artist. I need new horizon. I need new inspiration. And I don't have it enough in Beirut about it.
It's not about the society, the Lebanese themselves, something that you didn't...
It's a different life, different kind of society. People are very nice, very hospitable. They have the way of living, which is totally different. And you cannot have this way of living, which is very easy in a certain way, in a country as big as the United States, or China, or Paris. Paris a little bit more. And when you stay 32 years here, you get inside you this culture and the way of living. For example, here people don't like to have maid after 4 o'clock because of privacy. In Lebanon, it's inconceivable.
Yeah, she lives with
you
them.
cannot.
Yeah.
And sometimes I like this way because you have your freedom at 4 o'clock, you're alone, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So for a person like me who left Lebanon at a certain age, I still have in me the root of this kind of
you are
life.
still connected.
But for young people who left at 14 or they came for the study, they only go back to Lebanon for holidays.
You're right. And what is your last word to the new Lebanese generation, those who are thinking of moving from Lebanon, maybe to come to LA for film, if they like filmmaking or other, to build other careers? Do you advise them to do so, or you prefer to tell them to stay in Lebanon, try to do something for their country?
Look, when I was in Lebanon, I shot a movie called Ecrire Lhistoire, the Lebanese villages, with Rahbani, who made the operette. And the idea was, I was telling people, don't leave your village. Stay in your village. There is so many things you can do.
Of course.
In Lebanon, look, from one film, you are 20 films. So there is a lot to do. So there is no need to go to leave or to emigrate. There are work they can create. With the evolution, there will be more work. If everybody leaves, then what happened?
Yeah, of course.
It's always be a place for holiday or for old people. No, I encourage them to leave, but some of them, whatever you tell them, would like to leave anyway.
Yeah, you encourage them to stay, you mean?
Yeah, I encourage them to stay.
Yeah.
Some of them, you know, there are exceptions like me, but how many are we who left? It's why to leave? It's a beautiful country, and the new generation more and more, I see them more involved in politics and everything too, and I hope one day or the other we'll have stability there to be able to have new horizon, more foreign film coming. Like in the past, you know, my first film I made was in Lebanon with Mireille Darc and Hardy Kruger, La Grande Sauterelle.
Yeah,
and before me,
very well
Fadel Kassar made a film with Anne Margaret and Anthony Hopkins. So there was movies
possibilities
there. Why can't we do it again? But we need stability from our government, and our government need to push up from our people.
So we hope so with this positive message that you convey to all Lebanese new generation, we will have a better country where all of Lebanese immigrants can come back and give some of their also push to the country. We need it.
We do come back, you know, it will be amazing how many houses are being bought by Lebanese immigrants.
Yeah.
Why? We're still attached to this country.
Yeah, indeed. It is a beautiful country. Yeah. Mr. Silvio Tabet, thank you for this beautiful interview, and we hope to see you soon in Lebanon, where you come often also.
Inshallah, for sure.
Inshallah.
Thank you.
Thank you. بهالحلقة بنكون تعرفنا على سيلفيو تابت، المخرج، المنتج، المصور والكاتب اللي بعمر 30 سنة اجى على لوس أنجلوس، ومن بعد ما كان عمل 400 فيلم بلبنان، وأيضاً بمسيرته المهنية أفلام مهمة جداً بهوليوود. أنا من بيفرلي هيلز بودعكم وبشوفكم بحلقة جاية.
Si vous souhaitez revoir cette émission et pour plus d'infos, visitez notre site internet www.mtv.com.lb.